A lot of people call the MLM2PRO the best sub $1,000 launch monitor, but is it really that simple? Yes, it's packed with pro level data, you have the dual cameras, 30,000 courses, but there are some hidden issues that most reviews don't mention, like graphics or putting. So let's break down what makes it really good value and where those overlooked problems might catch you out. And before we get into features or performance, we're going to talk about pricing, because the way Rapsodo handles memberships, it's a little confusing and there's a hidden option most buyers don't hear about. A quick heads up, our Golfible website has 3 free tools to help you find the launch monitor that best fits your needs. Use our filter tool to instantly find monitors with the exact features you want, like built-in display for example, and it'll show you which launch monitors have that feature. Click the compare button to compare up to 4 launch monitors side by side in our comparison tool, where you can see every feature at a glance. If you're still unsure, answer some questions in our quiz tool and get a personalized launch monitor recommendation based on your answers. All tools are linked in the description. Now back to the video. The MLM2PRO itself sells for $699, but that's only half the story. To unlock the best features like courses or GSPro compatibility, you're going to need premium membership at $199 per year. Now you do get a 45-day free trial out of the box to test everything before committing, but right now the USA website has a strange setup because it doesn't tell you the membership prices on the MLM2PRO buying page. It tells you about the 45-day free trial, but nothing about the yearly membership fee of $199 per year. And on the European website, it tells you in small writing the prices for the membership, but not on the USA website. So understandably, here's where most golfers are missing a trick. Rapsodo are quietly offering a lifetime membership for $499 total. It's barely advertised, but I did ask the chatbot and it is still there in the US. So it gives you permanent access to everything that the annual plan has. So there's going to be no ongoing fees. You won't be paying that $199 per year. So if you plan to use this for more than 2.5 years, it's a smarter play financially. In effect, the real price for the MLM2PRO with everything unlocked is $1,200. Now it's a no-brainer if you can afford it and want to use the software long term. I suppose the question is, are you likely to upgrade to another device before the 2.5 year break-even point? One of the best parts of the MLM2PRO is that it doesn't just give you numbers, it also records your swing. You're going to get 2 camera angles, shot vision, which shows you the full swing from behind, and impact vision, which zooms in right at the moment the club meets the ball. We like the slow motion impact footage. It's not as detailed as a side-on view that you get with the Uniker iMini Lite. You won't clearly see face contact, but it's still enough to spot thin or fat strikes and check if the face is open or closed at impact. Now combine that with your club pad and your spin axis data, and you can finally match what you felt with what you're actually seeing on the screen. You won't get either of these features with the Square Golf launch monitor. One thing we hope the Rapsodo adds is the ability to see that impact vision on a separate monitor while using GSPro. Right now it's only in the app. It kind of feels like a missed opportunity for simulation use. Now target range is going to turn your practice into something a bit more structured than just hitting balls. You can set greens or fairway targets, adjust distances, and every shot gives you feedback, so you can know straight away if you're improving. It's also going to track your averages and your best shots, which makes progress easy to measure over weeks. Now the short game targets from 30 to 100 yards were good for dialing wedges, which is where many of us lose strokes. And then the combine takes that idea a bit further. It's 24 shot skill test to pressure test your game and just show you where you're losing shots. Now the shots are split across different distances and approach targets, so you're not repeating the same club over and over. And at the end, you have a full breakdown of your proximity scores, your dispersion maps, and even an estimated handicaps, so you can benchmark yourself against others. It's pretty addictive because you can see immediate patterns in your game that you can fix. And combine is also not available on Square Golf. Accuracy wasn't the strongest point when the MLM2PRO first launched, especially with short chips and spin readings, but after a lot of software updates, it has improved massively. Chipping, which was a mess, now it does read consistently down to a couple of yards. And when you use the proper Rapsodo RPT balls, we've been happy with both carry distance and spin numbers. They're reliable enough to trust for practice and gap testing. Now the biggest leap this year is the addition of the 2 key data metrics, club path and angle of attack. Club path is going to show you the direction the club is moving through impact, whether you're swinging in to out or out to in, which is going to explain why you hit hit draws and fades. Angle of attack measures whether you're hitting up or down on the ball at impact, which is going to be very important for optimizing your driver launch or compressing irons. Now, combined with face angle and the spin axis, these metrics are going to give you a clear cause and effect of your ball flight. So instead of just knowing the ball sliced, you know if it was your path, your face angle, or your attack angle, and that's how you're able to fix it fast. One of its biggest advantage over its main competitor, Square, is that the MLM2PRO works both indoors and outdoors, while Square is indoor only. So that radar setup means you're going to get the full flight tracking at the range, so it is accurate outdoors. So if you're splitting practice between home and the range, this flexibility is a win because it's something the Square Golf launch monitor can't do. Another small benefit, because the MLM2PRO sits behind the ball, you never need to move it for left or right-handed players. A side unit like Square do need to move to the other side of the room, and while it does sound minor, it is a big time saver if you're playing with friends who are left-handed. That's the good stuff, but this isn't a perfect launch monitor. There are some quirks, limitations you need to know before buying, especially if you're comparing to something like Square. The first thing that can trip people up is the space. To be comfortable indoors, you really want around 16 feet front to back, though you can scrape by with 14 feet. That's more than camera-based units like Square, which only need around 10 feet. And the setup is a bit fussy too. You need to use the built-in camera to align, which works, but it's a bit more involved than simply just dropping a side-mounted unit beside the ball like the Square Golf. And you've also got leveling, which takes time, particularly at the range, so it's not a smooth setup. But if you can keep it in a fixed position indoors, it won't be an ongoing problem. Now, spin and spin axis, two of the most important metrics, they only work with Rapsodo's RPT balls, not to be confused with RCT golf balls, which are also used for launch monitors. RCT balls will not get your spin readings here. You will need to use the RPT balls. They definitely should have gone with a different name here. Now, you get 3 RPTs in the box, either Pro V1 or Chrome Tour, and they're not that cheap. You probably have about 1,500 shots before the dots wear out and you start seeing no reads. You obviously won't be hitting these expensive RPT balls at the range, so it's worth remembering you won't have measured spin data outside, as normal range balls can't measure spin on the MLM2PRO. And those metrics are also locked behind the premium membership. So it's worth it if you want accurate data, but compared to Square, which includes spin out of the box, it feels like a paywall you should factor into your cost. If you're getting value from the video, please consider subscribing and buying your launch monitor from our affiliate links in the description at no extra cost to you, as that's what keeps the channel going. Thank you. Now, one extra cost that catches people out is a GSPro connection isn't included for free. To use it, you have to pay the Rapsodo $199 per year premium subscription as a connector fee plus GSPro's fees. Now, Square doesn't charge anything extra for GSPro, so this is a hidden cost if you're comparing the two. Now, obviously, the lifetime membership of $499 will fix that. It's going to unlock GSPro forever. But if you're sticking to annual payments, that extra fee will add up fast. Now, there is no measured putting on the MLM2PRO at all. So in GSPro, you're going to stuck with auto putt or manually entering putts. So on the old open API setups, you can use a webcam workaround for realistic putting for GSPro, which some people are still doing. But the new official GSPro integration doesn't allow that. So for casual play, this might not matter, but if putting realism is important to you, this could be a deal breaker. The built-in Rapsodo courses have improved a lot. There's better layouts, there's more lifelike trees and terrain, but they still look more like a video game than the realism you're going to get on a Unique or iMini or iMini Lite or on their main competitor Square, which just has smoother gameplay. Ball physics are fine, but if you've played higher end sims before, you'll notice the drop in immersion. Now, if it's your first simulator, you won't be as noticeable, but for seasoned sim players, you might notice some budget elements. Now, connection issues have improved with updates, but they're not gone. We've heard from plenty of golfers, especially those using direct mode outdoors, that getting connected can still sometimes be frustrating. Now, the common complaint is having to restart the monitor and the app multiple times before it pairs, and half the time the connection prompt then disappears before you can even tap it. Once connected, it does run smoothly, but this setup pain is enough that we know some people have returned the unit. Now, quickly looking again at GSPro, we've covered that pricing issue, but for those who don't know GSPro, it is the most realistic virtual course software that we've played, and MLM2PRO now has an official integration with it. There's no more third-party connectors or workarounds. The courses are the most realistic out there, and the multiplayer option is the most active. And MLM2PRO now have their chipping fixed, so it's getting really immersive, but it is just missing that putting function, as we mentioned. If you prefer something more casual and cheaper, the MLM2PRO also works with Awesome Golf. That's built around mini games and multiplayer. It works best for family with younger kids. And for something between those two, there's E6 Connect, and that offers a good course library and a pretty simple interface if you don't want the depth of GSPro. Who is the MLM2PRO built for? Golfers looking for the best budget option that works both indoors and outdoors. There's nothing else under $1,000 that does both as well as the MLM2PRO. Golfers who want to complete data at this price point, now including club path and angle of attack, and unlike Square, which doesn't have the club speed metric, the MLM2PRO does measure that, so it's giving you a fuller picture of your swing. Now, anyone wanting structured training tools like target range and combine without jumping to premium monitors, and golfers who want visual feedback, not just numbers in the budget space, the MLM2PRO's shot vision, the impact vision, it's going to give you that slow motion replays, something you just don't get on Square, and far better than the single angle replay on the Garmin R10. The MLM2PRO is not for golfers who need realistic putting in their simulator rounds. It's not for anyone who would have tight indoor space, so less than 14 feet in room depth, or for golfers who want accurate spin readings outdoors. You won't get them as you need to use RPT balls, which you won't be using at the range. And for anyone prioritizing high-end graphics over pure data, Square Golf just looks better for graphics. So circling back to that question from the start, is the MLM2PRO really the best launch monitor under $1,000, or is there more to it? For budget golfers, it is hard to beat. You've got that pro level data, dual cameras, indoor, outdoor flexibility that no other sub $1,000 option matches. But the quirks we talked about earlier, space requirements, the setup, no putting, they do matter. If price isn't a factor, higher end options like the Unicry Mini are better, but in the budget space, it is neck and neck with Square Golf. If you want more detail, our written review dives into features we didn't cover here, like the swing speed training feature and our cloud data tools. I've linked that below, along with our comparison tools to help you find the best launch monitor for your setup. And let me know in the comments if you were buying today, or is there anything that would hold you back from getting the MLM2PRO? Thank you.